Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen how to generate the generic Gemini service in which we can pass the prompt and what type of response we want, and it will convert according to that. And also we have declared the REST endpoint for the same. So if you haven't watched that, just go to description and check out the link. Before we proceed further, do like, subscribe and put your valuable feedback in the comment. In this video, we're going to start the development with the playlist controller. So let's quickly jump into it and let's create the playlist controller. So first thing, what we have to do is we have to create the controller and the service classes required for it. So playlist controller and hit enter. This will be a class. Next thing, we will create the playlist service. So let's quickly do that. So move back over here, go to service, right click on this, click on new, Java class and playlist service, and this will be an interface. So select interface and hit enter, and we will provide or create one implementation class for the same. So Java class, this will be playlist service impl and hit enter, and this will implement playlist service. And on the top of this, we have to put one stereotype annotation that is nothing but @service, so that this bean of this specific class will be managed by the IOC container itself. Now move back to the playlist controller and we will start the development with the first endpoint that is nothing but create playlist. So on the top of this, we will add few of the annotation. First one is to mark this one as controller. For that, we have to add REST controller. Then another endpoint we will put that is for request mapping, and in this one we will put the path that is API/playlist. Then we will put @validated just to add all of the different types of validations. So let me quickly minimize this and make some space over here, and we will start the development with this one. So first thing, into this one what we will do is we will auto wire the service which we have created, private playlist service over here. And now we will start with the first endpoint that is of post type, that is post mapping, and with this one we will pass the path that is /create playlist. So move back over here, create playlist, public response entity, and this will return a playlist response. So these details we have already created in the previous lecture, so if you haven't watched, please follow that. So playlist response, and this is nothing but a create playlist. Into this one, first thing, we are going to accept the name. So there is some validation which we have to put. First is a request param, so we have to set the name, in which name we are going to get the value, so that will be name. Okay, then we'll put the not blank, it means that this one is required, and if this is blank, in that case we can return message that is playlist name is required. Then we will put the validation for size, so @size max is equal to 100 and message is equal to playlist name must not exceed 100 characters. And now finally we will declare the variable, so string name. Next one will be description, so request param, and this we will accept. We will put the value that is nothing but description. Either you can do like this or you can do like this, value and is equal to description, both are same. And you can mark if this one is not required, then simply required is equal to false. And we will put @size validation over here. So size max is equal to 500. And if this crosses, then we can return message description must not exceed 500 characters. And we will declare the variables for it. String description, Next one is @request param. So this is to make, as we have seen in the quick overview video, that this playlist can be public or private. So is public while creating. The default value is false. Okay. And we will declare the variable for this one. So boolean is public. Next we have is request param, that is for image file for the playlist. So value, that is image file, required is equal to false, or we can put required is equal to true, because for each playlist we will have the image mandatory. Okay. So multi-part file, image file. Next thing, we need authenticator, that is authentication, and authentication in order to get the email. Remove these spaces, move back over here. Now this is ready. So inside this one, first we will try to extract the email. So email is equal to authentication.getName. Next thing, we will create a request for playlist. Request is equal to new playlist request, and with this one we will accept the name, we will accept the description, and this we will accept the is public. So these all request and response DDOs, everything we have created already in the previous video. So make sure you are following the whole. Don't get confused with if you see anything new, okay, and which you are not able to find it. Playlist response is equal to playlist service dot create playlist, and to this one we will pass the request, and we will pass the image file, and we will pass the email. Now save this. Now this method doesn't exist in the playlist service, so we will hover on this create method, and it will add a method over here. So before we start implementing this one, let me quickly move back over here, quickly close other tabs, move back over here to the playlist controller. Let me arrange this. Okay, so once we got the response and now method is ready, we haven't provided the implementation, but before, what I'm going to do is we are going to simply return a new response entity, and into this one we will return a response of http status dot created and save it. Now let's go to the playlist service, and we will provide the implementation for this. Over here you can see this is showing one related problem. So what we will do is we will simply click on this one. It will read out us to the service, and over there, first thing what we have to do is, before we start implementing, what we have to do is we have to click on this implement method, select this one, and click on OK. The error is gone. Before we start implementing, we have to configure all of the required stuff like auto wiring required dependencies and taking the values like base URL and other stuff. So let's quickly do that. So auto wired, and first will be private playlist repository, that is playlist repository. Then we will auto wire private app user repository, because playlists belong to a specific app user. Auto wire private playlist song repository, playlist song repository. Then we will auto wire, and we will put song repository, because in each playlist we will add also songs. So song repository. Then we have @autowire, and we have to handle the file as well. So file handler utils, and finally we will get the base URL. So @value, and into this one $ curly braces open app.base.url. This we are going to use while returning the song and the image URL. So private string base URL. Let me show you the base URL in the application or properties as well. So if I go over here to the application or properties, and here you can see the base URL app.base.url, that is nothing but the local. So if I move back over here to the song service, playlist server sample, And let's quickly close this. We'll quickly close other two which I have opened, and let's try to search this. And here you can see this, it's the same ID. So you have to keep this in the same way. Okay. Now, finally, what we will do is we will jump into the create playlist and we will start implementing it. So first thing, we will get the app user object and get user by email, and in this one we will pass the email. This method doesn't exist, so what we will do is we will hover on this one and we will create method. This method is simply return an app user by validating if the user exists or not. So app user repository dot find by email, into this one we will pass the email. If not found, then or else throw an exception, new runtime exception saying user not found. Now move back to the previous one, that is nothing but our create playlist, and into this one what we will do is we will create the playlist object. So playlist is equal to new playlist dot set name request dot get name playlist dot set description request dot get description playlist dot set is public request dot get is public. So we are not going to validate for null and other stuff because by default we have set the default value as well at the controller layer. Playlist dot set app user, and we will set the app user. Okay. Next thing, we have to process the image file as well. So if image file is not equal to null and not image file is empty, in this case what we will do is we will first generate an UUID, that is nothing but a unique ID for the image. So UUID dot random UUID dot toString. Next thing what we have to do is we have to get the image extension. So string image extension is equal to, and we will use file handler utils dot get file extension. Into this one we will pass the image file dot get original file name, and from that we can extract the extension. So these methods we have already written in the previous videos, get file extension and file handler utils. So we are leveraging that. So string image file name, the new name, is equal to unique ID plus image extension and file handler utils dot save image file with name. So into this one we will pass the image file and we will pass the image file name, the newer one which we have generated. And finally what we will do is we will simply set playlist dot set image URL. Into this one we will set /API /file /image, and also we will put a slash at the end plus image file name. Now we have set the image file name as well. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply call playlist saved playlist is equal to playlist repository dot save and we will pass the playlist. Close this one, and what we will do is we will simply return a playlist response dot from entity. Into this one we will pass the saved playlist and we will pass the base URL. So this we have already created. So let me just show you that in the base URL we are using the base URL to generate the full image, okay, and just returning it instead of just passing the /API and other stuff. So we are returning the whole URL so that you can directly click and use it. So now our API is ready. We'll close this. Now let's go over here, start the application, and let's just open the Postman. So first we will need the token. So let's test if our application is up, and yeah, our application is up on port 8080. Move back over here, send this, and we will get the token. So now let me quickly copy the token from here. Let me quickly jump back to the create playlist. And this is the one which we have generated right now. Developed /API/playlist/create playlist. And this is a base URL, that is localhost 8080. And this is of type post. Go to authorization, select this, bearer token, and we will paste the new token. Now go to body, and in the body we are sending few of the stuff. So you have to select body, you have to select form data. The name is my favorite, and the description is collection of my favorite song. Is public is true, and we have to select one image file. So let me please select one image file. So I will select any image file from my playlist one. So I'm selecting this one. So Gemmix is selected. Now let me send this, and here you can see this, the endpoint, the playlist is created. So one ID is one, name is my favorite, description is collection of my favorite song, is public true, the image URL is this. If I click on this, it will open this one, and here you can see this one is loaded. So it means that the image is successfully saved. It will be this. Don't save this. Created at this particular time, updated at this, app user ID is 1, and Spotify temp updated. This is a username. Okay, so this API is working fine. So let me quickly minimize this, stop this, and let's develop the another endpoint. So go back over here to the playlist controller, scroll down, and the next API into this one is nothing but the update playlist privacy. So move back over here. So @patch mapping, and at this one we will accept /update playlist privacy / we have to accept the ID for which specific playlist you want to update the privacy, like make it public or private. This will be public response entity, and we will return with the playlist response update playlist privacy, and this will be @path variable long ID @request param. This will be is public, boolean is public. Then we need authentication in order to get the email. So make some space over here, and first thing we will extract the email. So string email is equal to authentication dot get name. Then we will get the playlist response is equal to playlist service dot update playlist privacy, which doesn't exist for now. So in this one we have to pass the ID is public, and we have to pass the email. Now save this, and finally what we will do is return response entity.ok, and we have to return the response and save this. Hover on this one, and we will create this abstract method in the playlist service. And here you can see this, the abstract method is added, and which is returning a playlist response, and the method name is this, accepting one ID, type is boolean, and then email. So let's quickly click on this one related problem. We will move back to the playlist server simple. So hover on this implement method, select this one, and click on OK. Over here, what we have to do is we have to simply make some space over here, and we will create a playlist. Playlist is equal to validate playlist access. Into this one we will pass the ID and the email. Save this. This method doesn't exist, so hover on this one and create method. Let me move this to the bottom. Okay. Into this one we will check if it belongs to that user, or the user is an admin user who can perform this operation. Okay. So playlist is equal to playlist repository dot find by ID, and with this one we will pass the ID. If it doesn't found, then or else throw the exception. New runtime exception, and with this one we will throw the exception playlist not found. Then we will try to get the app user. App user is equal to get user by email. Into this one we will pass email, Now we got the user and we got the playlist. So we will check boolean is owner is equal to playlist dot get app user dot get id dot equals app user dot get id. So if these two things are matching, then it's a owner, either it's a user, then they can update these modifications. Okay, they can do their modification. Is admin, if that doesn't exist, then they can perform this operation. So admin dot equals app user dot get role. Save this. Next thing what we have to do is if not is owner and not is admin, then what we will do is we will simply throw new time exception saying you don't have permission to modify this playlist. Save this. Else what we will do is we will simply return the playlist object. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is move back over here, and now we got the playlist object. And now what we will do is we will simply set playlist dot set is public, and with this one we will set the is public, either it's a true or false, whatever we got from the user. And now what we will do is we will simply call the playlist repository. So it will return a updated playlist is equal to playlist repository dot save, and with this one we will pass the playlist. Now it will save and it will return this. And now what we will do is we will simply call playlist response dot from entity, and we will pass the updated playlist comma base URL. Let's quickly test this. So I have started the application, move back to the controller. So our application is up and running on port 8080. Let me quickly minimize this, move back over here to the postman, and here you can see this we have created, and our ID is 1 and is public is true for now. So move back over here to the update playlist privacy which we have created. So API slash playlist slash update playlist privacy slash 1 is the ID and what I want to do. So it's already true, so I want to make it false, that is disable, and this is a patch type, and over here you can see this what the values are being passed. So let me quickly send it, and here you can see this my favorite, and the description is this one in is public is false now. Okay, so this is working fine. So move back over here, and next endpoint which we are going to develop is add song to the specific playlist. So let's quickly stop this, move back over here and into this one. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add a post mapping, and this is to add song to the playlist. So slash add song to the playlist, and in this one we will accept the playlist ID. In which playlist you want to add the song. Okay, public response entity, and it will be a message response. Add song to the playlist. We will accept in the path variable long playlist ID. So it makes sure these two are same. Then @request param. This will accept the song ID, which song you want to add, long song ID. Then we need authentication. Close this and now save this one. Into this one, what we will do is first we will extract the email. So string email is equal to authentication dot get name, and we will get the email. Then message response is equal to playlist service dot, we will call the add song to playlist, which doesn't exist for now. We will create it, and in this one we have to pass the playlist ID, we have to pass the song ID, and we have to pass the email. Now save this. Now hover on this one and it will create a method. Click on this and it will add a message response, add to playlist, and it will create all of the variables required. Okay, now move back over here, and here what we will do is simply return response entity dot OK, and into this one we will return the response. Save this. Now move back over here, click on this one related problem, and it will route you to playlist server simple. So hover on this, implement method, select this one and click on OK. So now we have to provide the implementation to the add song to the playlist. Into this one, first thing what we will do is we will simply get the playlist. So we have created the method in the previous API while developing the previous API. So I'm going to use the same. So validate playlist access, playlist ID, comma, email. Now save this. Next thing, I'm going to get the song. Song is equal to song repository dot find by ID and song ID. So we will try to fetch if that song actually exists or not, or else throw the exception, that is new runtime exception saying song not found. Save this. Next thing what we will check is if that song already exists in that playlist or not. So we will check if playlist song repository dot exist by playlist and the song ID. So we will create one. So back, and over here we have to create exists by playlist ID and song ID. So this method doesn't exist, we will create it right away. So playlist ID, and we will pass the song ID into this one. And we will click open. If this doesn't exist, it means that it already exists. Then we will throw new runtime exception saying song already exists in playlist. Save this. Hover on this one and click on create method, and it will create a method into the playlist song repository, which will be nothing but returning a boolean type long playlist ID, and it's accepting a song ID. So the query for this one will be generated by the JPA itself by following the name. So it will generate a query on the basis of these parameters by and this one, these two stuff, and with and condition, and also it will validate for the song ID. Let's quickly close this. Move back to the playlist server simple. Now we got this. Next thing what we will do is we will get the list of playlist song existing songs is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID order by the position in the increasing order. So as you have seen in the quick overview that all songs are in a certain order. So we have maintained the order ID of the song in the database as well, like position ID. Okay, and we will pass the playlist ID into this one. This method also doesn't exist, so hover on this one and it will create method, and click on this and it will add a method into your repository. Now we have to move back to the playlist server simple and we have to utilize the same method. So over here, now we got this, and now we got the existing songs. Next thing what we have to do is we have to identify the next position. So for that, int next position is equal to existing songs dot is empty. In that case, the position will be 1. Else existing songs dot get existing songs dot size -1 dot get position +1. Now save this. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create the playlist object, playlist song object, song playlist song is equal to new playlist song. Now what we will do is we will simply set playlist song dot set playlist, and into this one we will pass the playlist. Then playlist song dot set song, and we will set the new song, and we will set the position. So playlist dot set position, and we will pass the next position into this one. And finally what we will do is we will simply call playlist song repository dot save, and into this one we will pass the playlist song. And what we will do is we will simply return new message response, that is nothing but song added to playlist successfully. Now save this and now start the application and let's test this one. So move back over here, go to the playlist controller, and we have added this specific endpoint. So now you can see our application is up and running on port 8080. Move back to the Postman, and the Postman, we have this add song to playlist API. So into this one /API/playlist, and the new endpoint which we have developed, that is /add song to playlist. The playlist ID is 1 and the song ID is 5, and this is a post call. So let me quickly open the database and let me quickly show you. Over here, let me quickly check the database name from here. Musify DB video. Use this one, show tables, select star from playlist underscore song, and you can see there is nothing. This is an empty set. So let's quickly add this specific song ID 1. We have the song ID 1, but we don't have the 5. So let's try to save the 5. Let's quickly send this. And here you can see this one is getting forbidden because we haven't added the token. So let me quickly add that. Here a token. We will go to the authentication, use the login one. Let me get the token. So these all the stuff I have already shown you in the previous video. So make sure you have watched. Quickly minimize this. Go to this add song to playlist. And I'm going to add the new token. Now try to send this. So 5, song not found. This song doesn't exist. Let me try with the 1, the valid one. And now send this. And here you can see this song added to playlist successfully. Let me quickly check in the database. Select a star from playlist. And here you can see this. The ID is 1. Added at the current time. And the position is 1. Playlist ID is 1. And the song ID is also. So this is working fine. Let's move back to the IntelliJ. Let's stop this. And let's start development of another endpoint. So in the playlist controller, next endpoint which we are going to develop is nothing but remove song from the playlist. So let's quickly start with that. Minimize this one, make some space, @delete mapping / remove song from the playlist. And this one we will accept the playlist ID, public response entity, and of this one we will accept the message response. Remove playlist from the playlist, remove song from the playlist. In the path variable, we will accept the playlist ID. So long playlist ID. In the request param, we will accept the song ID, long song ID, and we will get the authentication to get the email. Let me quickly open the curly braces and scroll here. First, we will get the email. So string email is equal to authentication.getName. Now we got the email. Then we will use this message response. Response is equal to playlist service dot remove song from the playlist, and we will pass the playlist ID. Then we will pass the song ID. We will pass the email. Now this method doesn't exist. That's why it's showing an error in red color. So let me quickly fix that. So hover on this one, create method, click on this, and the new method is added over here. So before we proceed further, move back over here, and what we will do is we will simply return a response entity.ok with the response. Now save this. Now move back over here, and you can see over here new method is added, and go to the implementation and hover on this one, implement method. Select this remove song from the playlist and click on OK. It will add a new method. And now we have to provide the implementation for this one. We'll quickly minimize this. Move back over here. Make some space. First we will validate the song. Validate playlist access. And this one we will pass the playlist ID and we will pass the email. So if that belongs to that specific user or not, if either user is an admin or not. Next thing what we will do is we will get the playlist song. Playlist song is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID and song ID. So this method doesn't exist. Into this one, we have to pass the playlist ID and we have to pass the song ID. Now, hover on this one, you have to write with the same camel case, exact same name you have to mention, because on the basis of the name, JPA will generate the query. So create method, and here you can see this, the new method is added over here, and this is returning a playlist song. So, but I want it to be optional. Optional, like this. So when the song is not found, then we will throw the exception. So move back over here. Now, in this case, if song is not found, then or else throw, what we will do is we will simply throw the exception. New runtime exception saying song not found in playlist. Now save this. Next thing what we have to do is we have to reposition all of the playlist. If suppose we have 10 songs in the playlist and I'm removing from the between one song, suppose at the third index, then we have to change the index of the songs below that. Okay. So for that, int removed position is equal to playlist song dot get position, which position is removed. Then what we will do is we will simply call playlist song repository dot delete, and with this one we will simply pass playlist song. Save this. Once delete operation is performing, what we will do is we will perform the shift operation. So for that, list of playlist song after removed is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist order by position ascending. We will use this one, and we will accept the playlist ID into this one. This method is already there. Now what we have to do is we have to run a for loop. So for playlist song colon songs after removed, and we will open the curly braces. Then we will check if song.getPosition is greater than removed position. Then what we will do is we will simply set song.setPosition and we will get it from the song.getPosition -1, because we have removed one. And what we will do is we will simply playlist song repository dot save, and into this one we will pass the song. Now once this is done, what we will do is we will simply return new message response, and into this one we will return song removed from playlist successfully. Now save this and let's quickly test this one. Move back over here to the playlist controller, and here we have the remove from playlist. So open this one, remove song from the playlist. Let me quickly add one or two more songs I'm going to add, and let's test if we have third one as well. Okay, let's test the fourth. I guess fourth we have deleted while demonstrating. Okay, so fourth we don't have. So I'm going to delete the second one. So if I go over here, let me just show you. Now we have position, the same position as 1. The second one is position 2, position 3. So I'm going to delete this position 2. So now this 3 will become position 2 as per our code. So let's move back over here and to the postman, and song ID which you want to remove is nothing but the song ID is over here is also 2. So let me quickly pass the song ID over here to remove the song from the playlist. So this is a delete operation, remove song from the playlist /API/playlist, and this one we have to set the authentication. So set the bearer token and now try to send this. So here you can see this song removed from the playlist successfully. Now let's go and check the database. Select to start from. And now here you can see this, we got only 2 songs this time. So position is 1, and for the third index position is 2. Now the position is updated, but in the above you can see the position was 3. So it means that our logic is working fine. Next thing what we have to do is we have to develop an API to reorder songs in the playlist. So let's quickly minimize this one. Stop the application. Move back over here, make some space, and over here we are going to add one annotation at the patch mapping. Into this one we will accept slash reorder song in the playlist slash playlist ID public response entity, and this is going to return a message response reorder song in the playlist. Let me quickly scroll up. Into this one we will accept the path variables. In the path variable we have got the long playlist ID. This name and these two names needs to be same. Next thing we will accept the song ID. So request param song ID long song ID at the rate request param. Now I need the new position new position and then finally I need the authenticator. Open the curly braces, and with this one first we will get the email. So string email is equal to authentication dot get name. In the name we have set the email, and finally we will get the message response is equal to, and we will get it from the playlist service dot reorder song in the playlist. This method doesn't exist for now, it's showing in the red. And into this one we have to pass the playlist ID, song ID, then we have to pass the new position, and we have to pass the email. Now save this, hover on this one and click on this create method, and it will create a method which will accept all of the 4 parameters, and the response is message response. So let's move back over here, and once we got the response, what we will do is we will simply return response entity.ok with the response. Now save this. Let me quickly minimize this one and go over here, one related problem, click on this and move back over here to the playlist server simple. Hover on this one, click on implement method, select the method and click on OK. Now in this one, first thing what we have to do is we have to validate the playlist access. So let me move back over here, make some space, validate playlist access. Into this one we will pass the playlist ID and we will pass the email. Now once that one is validated, now we will check playlist song is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID and song ID, which we have to use over here. Into this one we will pass the playlist ID and we will pass the song ID. If this is not found, then or else throw. What we are going to do is we are going to throw an exception if that specific song which we are trying to reorder is not found in the playlist. New runtime exception, song not found in playlist. Next thing what we will do is we will get all the songs in the playlist. So list playlist song all songs is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID order by position in the ascending order. This one, and then into this one we will pass the simply playlist ID. Now we got all the songs. Now we will check if new position is less than 1 or new position is greater than the playlist size. So playlist songs dot size. If these two are the conditions, then what we will do is we will throw new runtime exception saying invalid position must be between 1 and the all songs dot size. Okay, so index validation is also done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply check if current position, let's get the current position first. So int current position is equal to playlist song dot get position. So we got the current position. If current position is equal to new position, then what we will do is we will simply return new message response into this one. Song is already at position plus new position. Okay. Now moving down or moving upward, we have to write two specific stuff. So if new position is greater than the current position, then what we have to do is we have to move down as per the new position. So what we will do is we will simply call playlist song all songs. We have to add a for loop. So for songs all songs, open the curly braces. Into this one we will check if song.getPosition is greater than current position and song.getPosition is less than equal to new position. Then what we will do is we will simply set song.setPosition, and to this one we will set song.getPosition -1. And what we will do is we will simply save it. Playlist song repository dot save, and we will save this song. If this is not the case, it means that we have to move up, and it means that shift songs between new position and the current position in the increasing position. So for that, what we have to do is we have to again loop through. So playlist song colon all songs, and with this one if song.getPosition is greater than or equal to new position and song.getPosition is less than current position, and what we will do is song.setPosition. We will set the song.getPosition +1, and what we will do is we will simply call the repository. So playlist song repository.save, and to this one we will pass the song. Now once these all shift operation is done, what we will do is we will simply set the playlist song.setPosition, and to this one we will set the new position. Okay, and finally what we will do is we will simply call playlist song repository.save, and with this one we will pass the playlist song. So once this one is done, what we have to do is we have to normalize the position to be consecutive starting from the 1. Like we have shifted the stuff, but now we have to shift the remaining stuff. So for that, what we will do is we will simply call list of playlist song final songs is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID order by position as synced. Into this one we will pass the playlist ID, and what we will do is int normalized position is equal to 1. And now what we have to do is we have to simply loop through. So playlist song colon final songs, and into this one what we will do is we will check if song.getPosition is not equal to normalized position. Then what we will do is song.setPosition and the normalized position. And finally what we will do is we will simply call playlist song repository.save, and into this one we will pass the song. Save this, and what we will do is we will simply increase the normalized position by 1. And once this one is done, we will simply return a new message response with the song reordered successfully to position and we will send the new position. Now save this and let's test this one. So let's quickly start this, go to the playlist controller, and this is the endpoint. So move back over here to the reorder song playlist, and we have to add the token. This is a patch type. Base URL is localhost 8080/API/playlist/reorder song in the playlist. Playlist ID is 1, and the song 1 to the position 2. Right now, if I go to the database and if I see now song 1 is at position 1, right? Song ID is 1 and position at 1. Now I want to move the song ID 1 to the position 2. Let me quickly add the token over here. So bearer token is added, and the param, in the param you can see song ID and new position. Let's send this, and you can see this song reordered successfully to position 2. So if I go over here, if I update now, you can see this is position 1, the song 3 is position 1, and song 1 is now at position 2. So this is working fine. So now we are done with this reorder. Next thing, we have to work on the delete playlist, and also we have to work on the get all public playlist. So let's quickly jump into deleting the playlist. So we quickly minimize this one, and let's stop the application. Minimize this and move back over here. So before we jump into the delete playlist, what we are going to do is we are going to write the endpoints like get all public playlist, get my playlist, and get playlist with song. Reason for that one is if we delete the one playlist which we have created, we have to create the another dummy data. So what we will do is we will develop first get all public playlist. So @get mapping, and with this one we will start with the get all public playlist. Make some space. So over here, so it will be public response entity. This will be of question mark type, that is the generic one. This is get all public, and this is with the pagination. So @request param, and the default value into this one will be 0. That is the 0th page. So int page. Then we have @request param. Into this one, we will accept the default value as 10. That is the items size in the each page. Then we have request param. And with this one, this is required is equal to false. That is search text. So that is string search. So let's quickly open the curly braces, and over here we will simply return response entity dot OK. And into this one, we will pass playlist service dot get all public playlist into this one page, size, search. Now save this. This method doesn't exist, so hover on this one, create method, and this is added. And into this one, what we have to do next is we are going to return a paginated response. So for that, this is the wrong stuff. So quickly let me delete this, and paginated response of type playlist response, and save this. And here you can see this, it's a page, size, and string. Let's move back over here, hover on this one and click on implement method, select this one and click on OK. So this will add a method over here. So next thing what we have to do is we have to create first a pageable object into this one. So make some space. Pageable is equal to page request dot off, and into this one we will pass the page and we will pass the size. Save this. Now we will create a page playlist object. Playlist page, and we'll close this. And over here it's showing an issue that provided is page request and required type is pageable. So I think we have imported some wrong imports. So let's quickly check that for pageable and page request. So over here, let's search for this one. This one is wrong. We don't have to import this JWT and this pageable. And when I removed it, it will automatically add one. So let me quickly move back over here and we'll see. Here you can see the error is gone. So this is coming from org.springframework.data.domain.pageable. So in the top of it, you will see the pageable one. Let me quickly check this over here. So over here you can see the pageable. It's automatically added. Okay. Now move back over here. So now we got the page request. We have created the page request object. Next thing what we have to do is we have to check if the user is trying to search something or not. So if search is not equal to null and not search dot trim dot is empty, it means that we got some text which we need to be searched. So playlist page is equal to playlist song repository, playlist repository dot find public playlist with songs by name or description. So we have to add this find, then we have this public, then public, and then we have to check for the playlist with songs by name or description. So it will validate on the basis of name or description, and it will also check for the is public or not. So search dot trim, and we have to pass the pageable object into this one. So this method is not available in the playlist repository. So what we will do is we will hover on this one and click on create method. So it will create a method into the repository. On the top of this, we will add the query. So we will change the text search for this one, and this is pageable. So into this one, we have to write the query, that is the paginated search one. So let me quickly copy and add it. So over here you can see select distinct P, that is nothing but the playlist as P, this is the alias. We are going to join on the playlist song, that is another table, and we are keeping the alias as PS, that is playlist song. On the P.id means that playlist dot the primary key, and in the playlist song dot playlist ID, the mapping which we have, where P is public and the name we are trying to move it as a lowercase, and then we are trying to concatenate with the search what we want to search, the description we will lowercase, and like we are trying to search whatever the text we have passed. So now the query is ready. You can pause the video and you can type it. Let's quickly move back over here, and now over here you can see the issue is resolved. In the else condition, what we will do is we will simply call playlist page is equal to playlist repository dot find public playlist with songs. So let me quickly add that. This method is also not available, and to this one we will pass only pageable because we have to search only on the basis of is public. We don't have to search anything. So click on this create method and it will add another method inside this one, and the return type is pageable, page and the playlist. So let me quickly add the query over here. So the query is select distinct P from playlist P. It means that playlist whole object joining the playlist song, and over here the public is true. So in this one also we can see the public is true. The query is still here, but we are not validating these all stuff in the second query because we don't want to search anything on the basis of name or description. So we don't have to add this all. Okay. Once these two queries are ready, next thing move back over here. Now when this is called, it means that if anything is passed as a search, then it will search on the basis of that and return the playlist songs. And then if there is nothing to search, then it will return on the basis of pagination. Now we got the playlist. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create the playlist response. Playlist response is equal to playlist page dot get content dot stream, and what we have to do, we have to map it. So dot map, and to this one we will create a playlist response dot from entity. These method we have already created, playlist comma base URL into this one because we are trying to return the image as well, dot collect, and with this one collectors dot to list. Now save this. Now here you can see this, the error is gone. Now it's showing one warning. So what we will do is we will simply return new paginated response. Into this one we will return playlist response, playlist playlist page dot get number. We will return playlist page dot get size. Then we will return playlist page dot get total elements. Then playlist page dot get total pages. Then playlist page dot is last, and finally playlist page dot is first. Now save this. Now what we will do is, now our method is ready. So let's move back to the playlist controller, and over here we have added get all public playlist. So let's quickly start our application. Let me quickly close these two. So our application is starting. So our application is up and running on port 8080. Let's quickly open the Postman. So we have this, that is of get type, base URL is localhost 8080, this one, /API/playlist/ get all public playlist, page is equal to 0, and size we need is 10. And we have to add the authentication into this one, that is bearer token, and let's quickly paste the token, the one which we have already used. Let me quickly send this, and here you can see this, we got 0. Why? Because in the update playlist privacy, we have only one, and for that we have made it as a false. So let me quickly change this one to true, and let's test this. Let me quickly add the authentication to this one with the bearer token, add this and send this. Now here you can see this, the is public is true. So now we'll move back to the get all public playlist and send this. And this time we can see we got one playlist, name is my favorite, collection of my favorite songs, is public true, and the image URL we got it, created at blah blah blah, and we got this stuff. So for this playlist we got everything. So it means this API is working fine. So let me quickly minimize this one and jump back to the playlist controller. Next thing what we have to do is we are going to write another method, that is to remove, that is to get my playlist from the only for my specific playlist. So let me quickly stop this one and move back over here. We remove this, move back over here, @get mapping, and with this one we will set the give the path, that is get my playlist, that is all playlists related to what I have created. So that is for both user as well as the admin. Into this one it will be a generic one, and then we will accept the request param. Request param we will accept default value as 0, and this will be nothing but int page @request param, default value is equal to 10, that is for elements in each page, in size, @request param. Into this one required is equal to false. This if you want to search anything, so string search, and then we need authentication in the case if you want to search by my user. So let's quickly move back over here. We will check. Let me quickly delete this one and delete this one as well, and now close this because I have added one extra. Okay, missing return statement, so that's fine. Okay, so over here we will check if authentication is equal to null. And what we will do is we will simply return response entity dot status 401 dot body, and with this one we can return like authentication required. Okay, this is just to handle another way if you are having a public API and if you don't want to validate in another way, so you can validate in this way as well. Next thing, we need a string email is equal to authenticator dot get name, and now we got the name. Finally, what we're going to do is we are going to simply get the results. That will be of type paginated playlist response. So we quickly add that paginated playlist response, and playlist is equal to playlist service dot, and it will be the same name. So whatever we have given over here, get my playlist, add this, and into this one we will pass email, comma page, comma size, comma search. Now save this. This method doesn't exist in the playlist for now. So hover on this, create method, and it will create void type. Okay, it's not a void type. Then we'll move back away. We haven't given the name over here. So it was result. Now move back over here. Let me quickly delete this. Now move back over here. It will show on the hover, create method. And now if I go, the method is created. That will return a page united response, playlist response, and this is the name which is accepting email, page, and size, and this text to search. Move back over here. Either you can keep it a question mark, or you can copy this and paste it over here. But we are returning the string over here as well, and as well as this type. So two different types of values are being returned over here. That's why this is a question mark. Okay. So now move back over here. And what we will do is we will simply return response entity dot OK, and we will return the result, and now save it. Now move back to this one, and where you can see this one related problem. So click on this, hover on this one, implement method, select the method, and click on OK. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply get the app user first. So move back over here, app user is equal to get user by email. Into this one we will pass the email. Then we will create the pageable object. So pageable from the domain, pageable is equal to page request, and select the first one, dot off. Into this one we will pass page and size, save it. Then page playlist is playlist page. Then again we will check for if search is not equal to null, and not search dot trim dot is empty. In this case we want to search for it. So playlist page is equal to playlist repository dot, and in this case we have to find by user ID, app user ID as well. So we have to write this query, find by app user ID, then and name containing ignore case, or app user ID and the description containing the ignore case. So in this one, we have to pass few of the stuff like app user dot get ID. Then we have to pass search dot trim. Then we have to pass app user dot get ID. Then search dot trim. Then we have to pass the pageable object. Now close this and hover on this one to create this specific method. So click on this and it will add a method. Okay, this is going to return a page playlist, and this is along as user ID 1. So let me quickly rename it user ID 1. Then we have the name to search. Then we have long the another ID, that is user ID 2. Like this. Then we have this as a description. And then we have the pageable object. So make sure you keep this name as same as this one, because on the basis of name, JPA is going to generate the query for this one. So move back over here, and here you can see this, the issue is gone. Next thing, if this is not the case, then what we have to do is, okay, let me remove this. Else, what we have to do is we have to simply call playlist page is equal to playlist repository dot find by app user ID. Let me quickly add that, and into this one we will pass app user dot get ID comma pageable, and save it. This method also doesn't exist, so hover on this one, click on create method, and it will add a method like this. Okay, this is going to accept app user ID. So let me quickly change the name, app user ID, and this is a pageable. So now move back over here, and once we got this, what we have to do is we have to again convert that by using the same format. So let me quickly copy this specific stuff and move back over here, and let me quickly paste this. So this is what we are doing over here is playlist.getContent.stream map and the playlist. Then we are trying to convert the playlist into playlist response by iterating with the base URL just to concatenate in the image URL. And we will collect those two lists, and this one will be, we will get the list page response. And then what we will do is we will return a page generated response, playlist response, get numbers, get size, get total elements, get total pages, is last and is first. So let's quickly run the application and let's quickly test this. So move back over here to get my playlist and move back over here, and let's see if our application is up and running or not. So yeah, our application is up and running now. Let me quickly clear this and now send this request. Let me quickly add the token over here. So we have a token is added, and this is /API/playlist/get my playlists. Send this one, and here you can see this, we got the playlist one that is belonging to me. That is app user 1. We have only one user with which we are trying to create it. So if we have something else which is related to user 2, we will not get these all stuff. Okay. So this is working fine. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create one another API, that is to get playlist with songs. So these APIs are going to be used to render the top one, and the another one which we are going to write now is going to return when we click on any playlist. So get mapping and /get playlist with song /playlist ID. Public response entity of type playlist with songs response. We'll give it a name, open the bracket and open like this. In the path variable, we will take long playlist ID. This name and this name needs to be same. Over here we forgot to close this, like this, not this one. Yes, like this one. Okay. Next thing what we will get is authentication, and let me quickly remove the spaces and open and close like this. So this is @get mapping, and save this. Now this is fine. Okay. This ID and this ID needs to be same. Okay. First thing inside this one, we will try to get the email. So string email let me quickly adjust these properly. Okay, email is equal to authentication.getName. Then we will get a message response after execution. So message response, message is equal to play. Okay, we got the email. Okay, now after we got the email, what we will do is we will get a playlist with song response. Yeah. Then this is nothing but a response is equal to playlist service dot get playlist with songs. Into this one we will pass the playlist ID comma email. Now what I will do is finally is return response entity dot OK with response. Now close this, and here you can see this method doesn't exist. So hover on this one and create the method get playlist with song. So now this method is added. That is nothing but get playlist with song, which is returning a playlist with song response and accepting a long playlist ID and string email. So we will click on this one related problem. Click on this, hover over this one and implement method and select the specific method, this one, and click on OK. So it will write the method with a dummy implementation. So let me quickly move back over here. So into this one, what we will do is we will simply type playlist is equal to playlist repository dot find by ID. To this one we will pass the playlist ID. If this exists, then we will get the playlist, or else throw the exception. New runtime exception saying playlist not found. Save this. If we found the playlist, so we will check if not playlist dot get is public. If this is not public, if this is public, not public, then what we will do is if email is equal to null, then what we will do is we will simply throw new runtime exception. This playlist is private. Okay. Next thing, if this is not public, in that case the app user who is the creator of this playlist can still access this playlist, right? So app user is equal to get user by email. Into this one we will pass the email, and we will check boolean is owner is equal to playlist dot get app user dot get id dot equals, and we will pass the app user dot get id. Next thing we will check if is admin is equal to admin dot equals app user dot get role. So if this is an admin, then again we will allow this. So if not is owner and not is admin, then what we will do is we will simply throw new runtime exception saying this playlist is private. Next thing what we are going to do is, after this is for the validation of the private playlist. If these conditions are satisfied, and else if this is a public one, then it will not go through these all validation. Directly it will jump over here. So it's going to return a playlist song. Playlist songs is equal to playlist song repository dot find by playlist ID order by position in the ascending order. Into this one we will pass the playlist ID. So this method exists. If I go over here, you can see this, we got this method already covered. Okay, so now move back over here to the playlist service impl, and into this one what we will do is we will simply return a playlist with song response dot from entity, and into this one we will pass the playlist comma playlist songs comma base URL to concatenate with the image as well as the song URL. So let's quickly jump back over here to the playlist controller and start the application, and let's test this. Move back over here to Postman, and this is the API get playlist with songs. The playlist ID is 1, so we have passed it as 1. The base URL is localhost 8080/API/playlist/get playlist with songs. So minimize this, and over here you can see this is running on port 8080. So let me clear this, send this, and this time you can see we got the my playlist and we got the all songs related to it. So we have added 2 songs into this playlist. So we got the playlist details and also we got the songs. And this playlist is public, so we don't need to do all of those validation. Those validation will be skipped. So last API which we are going to develop into this one is nothing but delete playlist with delete the whole playlist. So let me minimize this, move back over here, delete over here, make some space, add the delete mapping, and to this one we are going to add a delete mapping comma / playlist ID, then public response entity, and to this one we are going to return a message response, delete playlist, and we are going to accept in the path variable. So path variable long playlist ID and we will accept the authentication to get the email from this. Make some space over here. We will get the email first. So string email is equal to authentication.getName. Then we will get a message response. Message is equal to playlist service dot delete playlist. To this one we will pass the playlist ID. This is nothing but a playlist ID. This name and this name needs to be same. So playlist ID into this one, then email and save it. And finally, we will return a response entity.ok with the message. Now save this, hover on this one because this method doesn't exist. Create a method and this will add a method, delete playlist. So let's quickly jump into this, and over here we can see this one is added and the playlist ID the day. Next thing, one related problem, click on this, we will jump over here, hover on this, implement method and select on this and click on OK. So if I move back over here, so let's quickly add the stuff over here. So first we will validate and get the playlist by checking the access and other stuff. For that we have already developed the method. So playlist is equal to validate playlist access. We will pass the playlist ID and email into this one. Next thing what we will do is we will simply call playlist repository dot delete by playlist ID. So let's quickly add that, and to this one we have to pass the playlist ID. So this method doesn't exist. So what we will do is hover on this one, create method, and this will add a method into this repository, and this will be nothing but @modifying and @transactional, because any update and delete operation we needs to be transactional and modifying. Okay, so now move back over here to the project service simple, and here you can see the error is gone. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply call this playlist repository dot delete, and we will pass the playlist. Now once these two are deleted, what we will do is we will simply return new message response that playlist deleted successfully. Now save this and let's restart the application and let's test this. Go over here we have this delete playlist. Let me quickly close this. Please put your valuable comment in the comment section, and please subscribe and follow us on the Instagram. Okay, so now we have to move back over here, and now we try this one. So we got the playlist right now we are getting. So let's move back over here. We are going to delete that same one because we have only one. So this is of delete mapping type. Base URL /API/playlist, delete playlist, and /1, which we are trying to delete. So click on this, select bearer token, we added the token, so click on this one, and here you can see this playlist deleted successfully. If I go back over here you can see this, we got the delete query executed. So delete from playlist song where ID is this, delete from playlist song where ID is this, delete from playlist where ID is this. So now if I move back over here and now try to fetch the all public playlist or the get playlist with song with the same ID. So if I try to send this, you can see this playlist not found. So it means that the playlist is gone, and if you want we can verify in the database as well. So let's quickly jump back over here, go to this application.properties, let's copy this name, move back over here, use this, show tables, select star from playlist, and you can see this we don't have anything. Select star from play list underscore song, and here you can see this we got nothing. So with this, whole backend stuff is ready, and I hope you enjoyed the developing the complete backend series. From next video onwards we are going to start the development with the front end part for this application. So before we jump into that, please do like, subscribe, share with your friends, and thanks for watching.